My Lord, since there's discussion about restrictions on the religion and gender of potential succession to the throne, would this not be an appropriate moment to look at the role of a constitutional monarchy? For instance, would he not agree that it would be quite incompatible with the principle of a constitutional monarchy if a potential successor to the throne were to make highly controversial statements about science, policy, on medicine or agriculture? Not, of course, that any member of the royal family would dream of doing any such thing.
My Lords, I repeat myself, the government believes that the national interest and desire is for the country to remain a constitutional monarchy in its present form, because Her Majesty the Queen acts as a focus for national identity and unity. And frankly, although political parties change constantly, Her Majesty provides a sense of continuity and stability in times of political and social change.
Would not the noble lord, the Minister, agree that these issues about the monarchy are best left for another reign, and would it not be curmudgeonly for this House, and most of all the responsible government, to raise questions about the monarchy when we have the most constitutional and Christian monarch in our history?
My Lords, the government is not raising any issue at all about the constitutional monarchy. I think my first answer could hardly have been shorter and clearer.
Is it not a blatant discourtesy to Her Majesty and a disservice to our constitutional monarchy to describe the ministerial power, not least to make war, without debate or vote, as the royal prerogative? Should not this piece of tattered absolutism now be universally identified as the prime ministerial presumption?
My Lords, I know that we debate important matters of national interest in this House day in and day out. I don't actually think that the question that, again, and I pay tribute to the noble lord, who I know is an expert in this field, I don't think that's a really immediate issue for the nation.
Does the government agree that before we joined the European Union, the monarch acted on the advice of ministers, which was purely the product of our former system of representative parliamentary democracy, in which Parliament was supreme under the Crown? Does the government further accept, now that a majority of our national law is made in Brussels, to the exclusion of this Parliament, that that is no longer so? Does the government not agree that this is a huge change upon which the British people should really be consulted?
I have to tell the noble lord I don't agree at all. Not in any way. The noble lord, I remember, was concerned when we passed the Lisbon Treaty Bill that somehow or other the constitutional monarch's role would be altered if that bill was passed. He was told then, and I tell him now, it wouldn't be altered in any way at all.
But, my Lords, I wonder if my noble friend would accept a very simple proposition, that the monarchy should embrace the values of our society. And those values include not discriminating against women and not discriminating against one particular religion. Aren't those two arguments sufficient to justify having another look at this issue?
My Lords, I recall the noble lord moving his second reading of his private member's bill just before the 2005 general election. Indeed, in preparation for this question, read his speech there. Of course, these are issues. Of course, these are issues that are of great importance. But the solving of them is much more complex than it looks at first instance, and frankly they are not a priority for us at the present time.